Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about pyramid of consciousness. This concept of consciousness was developed by Russian psychologist Pavel Piskarev, and we will talk about different layers of the consciousness. Many psychologists were talking about consciousness, subconsciousness, unconsciousness. There are many words, and it was developed starting from Freud and Jung. So Pavel, about over 20 years ago, he developed this concept that the pyramid of consciousness, how there are many different layers of consciousness and what are hidden behind them. So let's see. Shall we start? Okay, so I think I will move here so you can see better. So why do we need to know the structure of our consciousness? Why is it really important? So there is no secret that there is so much going on in our mind, and all our limitations and inspirations and motivations are really hidden in our mind, in our consciousness. So it's very important to understand how to be guided, how to navigate in all those processes that are taking place within us. And when we know what is going on inside of us, we will see how is it projected to our reality. And knowing like how is it like that everything is caused outside, what is our reality is caused by my internal processes, I can have a control. I'm not a victim anymore. I can be effectively define what I want in my reality. I can be a creator of my reality. So it's a very important. There would be naive to think that everything that we do in our lives, all the energy we use for our reality in our daily life and creativity, only energy from food moves us forward. There are many examples, and I experienced several of them myself, when we have no food, no drinks, no sleep, and still be very active, very effective. There is so much energy and there is so much inspiration, and you can create and inspire not just yourself but other people around you. So where does this energy has roots? Like how I can access it on my daily basis, how I can be effective in my present moment from this energy. So it's really the question about different layers of consciousness, how we can go deeper to the layer of pure energy that can be create effectiveness, our effectiveness at the present moment. So we will talk about these layers and how to access it. Okay, so pyramid of consciousness. So here is an example, structure of our consciousness. There is two very well-defined segments. There is consciousness and subconsciousness. So it's really, you see it like they are not proportional. The consciousness is a very thin layer, and the subconsciousness has much more information hidden from us. And on the bottom, there is a oneness, the resource of energy, pure energy, where all possibility and no limitations, and how we can go through all those layers and access this energy or bring the energy to the present moment. It's really the how I can use this energy and how to be effective. Everything that we do in Neurographica is very practical. We are not just doing art and creativity to feel good. It's one of the side effects, but the goal is how I can be more effective, how I can be more productive, how I can set up goals and reach them. So it's a very pragmatic method, and we will talk how to be not just learning about this different layers, different levels, but how to expand them as well, how I can be more open to different possibilities in my reality. So the very first layer is actual consciousness. So actual consciousness, it's not even pyramid yet. It's a face on top of the pyramid. It's my reactions to what is going on at the present moment around me. So we use 5 senses: hearing, sight, smell, taste, and touch, to scan what is going on around me and define how should I react to it. Should I be defensive, or can I relax? Can it be safe? Can I feel motivated? Like, should I do something at this present moment? So it's really, life is going on right here, right now, at the present moment. And many psychologists really consider that being at the present moment is quite a challenge. We are so easily distracted by our thoughts about future, about past, that being at the present moment is not as easy. Another thing that is affected, actual consciousness could be affected by, is our inner screen. So in our mind, sometimes we have these visions, we have some knowing, some people has a hearing as well, some deja vu, and it's still brings so much emotional reactions that we still reflect not to what is going on outside, but what is going on inside of us as well. But it's happening at the present moment, at the actual consciousness level as well. So, operative consciousness. This is the first layer of our consciousness, and it's really first in one of the layer of consciousness, and it's only take 5 to 7%. It's like very thin layer of the consciousness, and it's some could be very generous estimation and say like that genius can use about 10 to 12% of consciousness, and it's a but not everyone. So in average, it's about 5-7%. So what is the operative consciousness? If we compare our mind as a computer, the operative consciousness will be RAM, random access memory. This is the information that we need to access on daily basis, very fast and very often. So it should be somewhere on the surface. It's how my name, my address, how to navigate in the surroundings, how to recognize other people. Maybe it requires some multiplication, some information that I really use on daily basis, some basic performance on maybe at your work, at your job. So it's some elements, how to drive, how to cook. So there is some information that we constantly accessing. And this is a very clear definition how effective you are. If you access this information very fast, very easily, this is defines your effectiveness. How to expand this level? Memorize more poetry, books, try to memorize jokes, numbers. At this time, we're really spoiled with all these digital gadgets, and we don't memorize things. We really don't challenge our memories. We don't read much. We prefer some videos, we prefer some audio, but how we can really learn something new, constantly learning something new. We can learn, read more books, we can memorize numbers, phone numbers of people that are important for us, at least like 10 numbers, and be more effective on this memory level, like train your memory, constantly train your memory, do some math problems, simple math problems that can keep you fit. There are some exercises to keep your mind young and effective. So there is many digital opportunities for it. So this was about consciousness. What is hidden? Like what is the other 95, 93% of consciousness? Like what is quite a resource if 5% helps us to operate on daily level? So what is the potential are hidden in 95%? So it's a subconsciousness. Subconsciousness is recognized as a part of mind below the level of conscious perception, something that acting or existing without one's awareness. So how this still be affects us without us to be aware of it? And there is 3 levels of subconsciousness. There is the individual, collective, and oneness. So there is a lot of, and each of them has 2 additional sub-levels. So we will talk quite a lot about our subconsciousness because this is a huge potential. So the first person who defines the subconsciousness, there are different names. There's subconsciousness, subconscious, unconscious. There is but usually it's unconsciousness used the terminology, and it was used by Sigmund Freud, the first psychologist who gave such a definition. So to our operative level, we receive visions, we receive memories, we receive some metaphors, some information in some kind of form of visual forms that we not necessarily define well, but it's some clues, some messages, and if we can recognize them, if we can unpack them, unlock them, it will be more effective. Dreams, one of the example of such messages from our subconsciousness. So the first, let's a little bit before we go there. So positive and negative experiences in our life. So on everyday basis, our mind registers about 40,000 experiences, 40,000 every day. Like, can you imagine how much it will be in a year or in a lifetime? And our mind constantly sorting them, like plus, minus, negative, positive, like we really defines what is good, what is bad. And it's a survival mechanism. We want to be experiencing more positive and avoiding negative. Positive moments are when we can be relaxed, when we feel safe, when we feel energy enough, so we can be in the best potential. So negative experiences, when we are stressed, when we are challenged, when we have to defend ourselves, when our muscles are tense, when we have very strong reactions to what is going on around us. Some people recognize that everything in our life a little bit negative, because we wake up at morning and it's already some negative experience because our body starts activated. So but we are not going there. So there, we will still define that there are positive and negative. So we remember everything. We remember positive and remember negative. And we try to avoid negative reactions. We try to avoid negative situations. And as a result, we avoid not just negative situations, but we avoid opportunities as well. For example, you had maybe not so pleasant experience with your first love. Maybe there was some pain, emotional pain involved in it. And your body will have such a strong reactions, like such a resistance, like, oh no, like don't go there, like don't repeat this negative experience. We don't want to have you sacrifice and suffer again. So like, please avoid any relationship. And there will be not just avoiding, but pain, but avoiding opportunities to meet other partner in your life. So it's could be quite a challenge to force yourself in a new relationship. And it could be energy depleting, and it could be really a lot of drama around these experiences, that why do I have such a strong reactions. So how we can be avoiding this life escape and be more positive about life, how we can transform those negative reactions into positive. If we're looking at pyramid of consciousness, let's move myself a little bit here. So if we're looking at pyramid of consciousness, yellow circles will represent some positive situations, positive memories in your life, and how they become conductors of this pure energy that is coming from the bottom to the top. Negative reactions presented as a blue circles, and they represent blockages, like solid rocks that don't let any energy going through. So the energy, whenever it meets the block, stops. So it's very hard to find a clear path that really inspire you, will nurture your energy, will resource you at the present moment. So our goal is not just find the path, but how we can transform the negative reactions into positive ones, how we can transform minus into plus. And we will talk about in this class a little bit more. So individual subconsciousness. So as I mentioned, there is a different levels of subconsciousness. So there is an individual, collective, and oneness. So individual subconsciousness is a memory of all experiences related to our soul. So it has nothing to do with religion, actually. So there is a, let's look at this as a scientific research. And I know that Western cultures has not yet fully embraced the idea about past lives experiences, but we will talk about as a layer of level of consciousness. So individual subconsciousness, there are memories that related to our soul, to our current life from the moment of conception. So the birth process really affects the way your mom was during the pregnancy and what kind of experiences you had at that moment. So all of this really impact how your effectiveness in your present, in your current life. The best researchers, scientists who are talking about this method, about these experiences, are Stephen Grof and his work with the holotropic breath work. So I'm a big fan of the holotropic breath work, but I believe that it should be that's not for everyone, because it's a quite a force of energies. But you can read his work, his books. There is a lot of researches he has done, and there's many people who confirming his researches as well. So all this information about your information during the pregnancy and after after you born, your information as well. There is practices like hypnosis, how breath work. There is some people still just remember some of these experiences. So all of them affecting your present life, and you can go there and transform those experiences as well, consciously transform them. Past life memories. Let's assume that we had many past lives experiences, and of course there are some good memories and inspiring memories and experiences that we can use, but there are so much negative experiences as well, and how does negativity can be affecting our present current life. I'm not a big fan of going and research past life memories. I believe that current life is a good reflection of everything that you've done in life, in past lives. So don't try to use the past life experiences as an excuse of some challenges in your current life. It's quite a temptation to find an excuse. The purpose we are looking at past life experiences could be we're trying to find the cause of the problem and how to transform it. We are not trying to distract and avoid your present life or your current life, and just explore all your possibilities in past lives. You have nothing much to do about your past lives, but the current life really requires some actions, requires some responsibilities, requires some changes, and it's very important to stay present, to stay effective at the current life. So I personally experienced several sessions with past life regressions, and I have to say, like, the decorations are different, but situations are very similar. So if I would just concentrate it on present moment, it would be as effective as going to research those experiences. Really, not so much has changed. And if you haven't learned the lesson in past lives, you will repeat the same lesson at this moment. Maybe on a different level, but it will be the same message, the same challenge that you need to resolve at the current moment. Collective subconsciousness. So collective subconsciousness is really has two different levels as well. So there are, maybe for some of you will be new word, but there is a energetic informational entity that called egregore. Egregore is created by a group of people who are thinking about the same. They have something in common, and they invest their thoughts, and so thoughts are guiding energy to it. So we investing not just our thoughts, but energy as well. And we can belong to different egregores at the same time. So egregores could be related to your culture, your generation, your families, your corporations, your race, neighborhood. So whatever it's a group of the people thinking about the same creates egregore. And we are not just belonging to them, but to be affected by them as well. There are good memories and there are bad memories. There is a very challenging and very dramatic egregores, like if you're talking about fascism, or if you're talking about some wars. There was a lot of egregores related to it, and if you are belonging to them as a culture belonging to them, like Germans belonging to the egregore of fascism, Russian belonging to the egregore of World War II or revolution. Like there is a lot of drama there, and it could be quite depleting energy. Some of the egregores can be very inspiring and very beautiful, creative, and they motivate you to expand yourself and do something else. Like you can't take it as a resource. You can't take some energy from this. Like you can't take the experiences of other people related to the same subject, and you can access them through the collective consciousness, subconsciousness. But some of them could be very depleting, energy depleting, like those daily news that we experience. There is a huge egregore right now about COVID-19 and all this drama around it, and how you can still investing your energy, thought form, and it's you're spending so much psychic energy in it and has no receiving back. So the egregore is growing, it's getting stronger, it's affecting a lot of people by energetically affected, informationally affected, but it has nothing creative or productive giving back to you. So you have to be very conscious, very responsible about what kind of egregores I belong, because there's so many at the same time. The same situations with your families, like you maybe not met your grandparents or some relatives, but they still belong to the same family, and they will affect your life as well, consciously or not consciously. There will be some responsibility that you will have, you will have. You may expand it by belonging to different egregores. You can travel, you can read information about different cultures, you can learn different languages, and at the same time expand your horizons and be connected to different people, to different egregores. You can connect to different creative groups. Neurographica is one of the egregore, is very fast growing, and how you can not just invest your information, your energy, but how you can take some energy. So be very conscious about if I connect to the group of the people, what kind of benefits, energetic benefits I can have from this group. So it's very important to have the cycle of the information and cycle of the energy that you investing, how you receive it back. So next level, if we go deeper, it will be myth. Myth are folklore stories that every culture has, and they have this messages about fundamental role in a society. And it's very important understand that cultures are different, stories are different, but messages are usually the same. How the society is built up, what kind of roles in the society are, what kind of archaic symbols represented in the stories. It could be about heroes, it could be about love, it could be about a ruler, about sacrificing, about communication in general between people and society. So there is a different opportunities for you to research different cultures and see how messages are quite similar. Carl Jung used archetypes, and archetype is a representative of a different myth. Like it's a really, there will be, you can find the same role in different cultures, in the Greek mythology, in Celtic stories, and in Slovenian stories, but the character will be the same. There will be the same symbol of this characteristic that he or she has. And in this case, it's called archetype, the role, that very well-defined representative of some kind of role, of some kind of archaic symbol. Carl Jung defines 12 archetypes, and they define some personality, some specifics, some behaviors that may be not well defined by, consciously defined by a person, but there will be some reaction that, and some images that really will be presented in their lives. So how to expand this level? You may try different roles. We all have potential to experience all of them. And how to step in roles that are not typical for you, but maybe it's time to grow, maybe it's time to expand. If you've been hero all your life, maybe you try to be a ruler for a chance and not just responding for yourself, but start leading other people to bigger goals. One of the examples of archetypes we can find in tarot deck. Tarot cards, major arcana, has beautiful symbols of different roles. And as I said, everyone has a potential to experience all of them. But some of them will be dominant, and some of them will be just as a seed that never grew. So how you can give and explore those potential seeds and allow them to be expanded a little bit more. When we're talking about egregores, there is the terminology that's called chenotype. And the chenotype is a minimal element of a recognizable representative of it, like for egregores. And one of this example is John Lennon. So there is a huge egregore of big fans of Beatles group. It's a beautiful egregore to be connected to. And John Lennon is not just representing the Beatles as one of these four people, but how, I have four. So how you, it's representing the so many levels of this egregore. It's not just a musician, but a symbol of generation, symbol of beautiful energy and music in general. So it's a little bit bigger meaning for chenotype. It's a lot of symbolism behind the person. So you can expand this level as well. Next level, oneness, how we can be really accessing the oneness. And oneness contains everything, not just humans. It contains nature, it contains elements, it contains different energies that get together, and they really present it in a beautiful unity. So it's a pure energy that everything has the same potential, the same connection, the same existence level. So elements is the first level of division of oneness, when we start dividing whole into parts. And it's basic elements, basic energies that will be like building bricks that everything else will be built up. Not just humans, but nature, some other things that around us, planets and universe and everything are built up from those elements. So elements define our body structure and foundational personality. It really defines our basic dominant reactions to some situations. So absolute energy, oneness, you can call it differently. There is a, like we will call mostly oneness, but there is a name absolute, totality, drive, God, divinity, conscious, like the consciousness, like there is many names, but the meaning is the same. The absolute doesn't have any limitation. It's a pure energy that everything is contains this energy. It has different implementations, different manifestations, but it still be the same source of energy that everybody has. But it's not very simple for us to dive into this energy, because energy, first of all, has a very high vibration, and it's when we have so much blockages in our body has a very low vibration, and oneness has a very high frequency and very high vibrations. So it could be challenging, physically challenging, and we have so many blocks in all these negative memories and all these negative experiences from past, our personal life experiences, from collective lives, groups experiences. All of them has so many blocks, and it's our goal to establish all this steady flow of life force from the oneness to our operative level, to make sure that we are effective. We are not going to dive in and dissolve ourselves, dissolve our personality in the oneness. There will be opportunity to be connected to the oneness and dissolve in it on different levels, on different realms. In this present moment, we can access it, but we still have some purposes in life. We still have responsibility in life that we need to be move on, and we still have chores to do, we still have kids to take care of. Like there is a lot of things that we need to be effective. So that's why we're going to access this energy to bring it to the surface and be operate on a different level. Okay, so elements. Let's talk a little bit more about elements. There are different traditions that recognize different elements. There is some traditions recognize 4 elements. In this particular pyramid of consciousness, we will talk about 5 elements. We will use Chinese traditions, Usin, and it's 5 elements are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Why we use this one? It has thousands of years traditions, and it has such a clear connection, not just emotional, not just personality, but there is a lot of physical manifestations related to each element, and how is it really related to different elements, and how we can compensate one element by another, and how they really, there is a circulation between them. So it's very important to recognize those elements and recognize how they operate between themselves. Elements defines our physical structure. Usually there are 3 dominant elements for each person. And when we meet somebody who has other 2 that are not typical for us, there will be completely different personality and there will be different reactions to the same situations. And it may drive us crazy and it will be not, maybe not a positive experience for us. So we can be meeting other people that has different elements, or we can meet other elements in life and be not comfortable around them. So it's very important to expand this level. We expand, we challenge ourselves to adapt ourselves to different elements. Like if you all your life avoided hot weather, maybe it's an opportunity for you to train your body how to be more comfortable around sun, around hot environment. Or other way, like if you avoided cold all your life, maybe it's opportunity to expand your adaptivity to coldness and to freezing environment. So if you want to know more about freezing environment, I can tell you, I was born and raised in Siberia. So elements, as I said, the elements define our physical construction as well. Your body structure will be a reflection, projection of all those elements and personalities in your body. Like it's always curious how this different children from the same parents have such a different personalities. Could be different body structures, could be different reactions, there could be different, such a significant difference in personality. So those elements has something to do with this. Now, very important moment. Why did we really needed to learn about all this consciousness and subconsciousness? What is, how is it related to the Neurographica? So right now we are going to talk about the basic algorithm and pyramid of consciousness. What is really like every step that we're doing during the Neurographica that are always presented in every Neurographica work. How is it related to the pyramid of consciousness? So here we are. So the first step, topic 1.0, usually. It's on your description. So which level is this? It's an actual level. This is my reaction to what is going on around me, how I am satisfied or not satisfied, and what is really, it could be what kind of limitations you have at the present moment and what you are not satisfied with, like what you want to change, what you want to transform. So it's an actual level. Catharsis or any other composition belongs to the edge of between operative and individual level. It's your personal experiences, your personal blocks and limitations that we really try to bring from the hidden level and project them to our operative level. Like we really bring something hidden from your subconsciousness and project on paper so we can see it, we can look at it, we can give some physical form for it to be able to navigate and transform it on other steps. So step number 3, rounding. We are cleaning blocks of our individual subconsciousness level. The rounding, really, when we transform corner into a soft curve, into circles, we transforming negativity into positivity. Remember, we're working with symbols. And as a symbolic transformation, we cleaning all those blockages. We're converting those blue blocks into yellow conductors, like all this translucent pathway for our energy from the oneness to the actual level. Step number 4 has 2 levels. So the collective subconsciousness, integration. So first, 4.1 is a dissolving catharsis and background. This is when we're accessing egregores, and it's really how we connect to the society and how society connect to us. How we really, there is a circulation of energy between me as an individual and collective energy and information. How I can access the resources of collective and how I can impact collective as a part of it. So it's a very important. So when we're bringing all additional lines to dissolve your catharsis in the background, this is where you become part of a collective egregore. So next level, big shapes created by colors. When we start coloring, you remember that we connect several segments with the same color. And how is it really gives us bigger meanings, bigger understanding, bigger messages, bigger goals and purposes on this drawings, like how we can be connected on a different level. This is the level when we connect to myth and archetypes. It's a still be collective information, and how there is so much information can be connected to, like be used as a resource. Step number 5, field lines. When we bring those 2, 3 bold lines to align your drawing, to bring a different quality of vibration, synchronize yourself with oneness, synchronize yourself with a powerful resource that's available for everyone who knows about it. So how we can be guided by it, inspired by it, and motivated by it, and be very effective at the present moment. So step number 6, fixation, happens on edge of operative and individual subconsciousness. So we went through all these experiences from the topic 1 or through the rounding, through the field lines, and how we can remember this experience, how we can anchor this experience, this process, emotions related to it, all this experience related to it. And this is when we highlight the shape that you want to remember, something that you, like after a week or 2 or year, you look at your drawing and you see like, oh, this shape represents my experience at the end, like my discovery at the end, something that is very important for me. And it will be very visual and very simple at the same time. So step number 7, topic 2.0. Again, it's an operative level. Operative level is, remember that it's how we, it's a level of consciousness, how we exchange very fast information, access the information, it's a random access memory for us. And this is a very important to see what's the new relationship between you and the topic that you are not satisfied at the beginning, how you can be, what has changed, what needs to be changed, how is it developed, there is any development or not, is there, you want to go on a bigger scale or to widen your horizons, or you need to go deeper to understand it. Each of these steps are very important and very critical. So if you consider to change your mind. Mind does not like any changes, and there will be resistance. There will be some challenges to go through. For some people, there will be challenges on the rounding level. For some people, will be challenging on field lines level. And it's okay. So just observe them, embrace them, and keep drawing, because it's very important to still clearing all those levels, to dive in and get this resource that is available for you. Establish this steady flow of the life force and be effective. Like everything we do in Neurographica, how I can be effective at the present moment, at the how I can change my life. I'm not just a victim. I am a creator of my positive reality. So this is an opportunity for you to navigate in all those processes that are taking place in your subconsciousness and consciousness, in your very multi-level structure. So we are not simple creatures. We are very complex, and we need to know some basics that gives us more tools to navigate with this. Thanks a lot. I hope this class was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.